time is so memorable as vacation time. And no vacation time is so long remembered as when one has witnessed the true power and force of nature, ever at work, timing the... High in the Rocky Mountains of northwestern Montana, straddling the continental divide, is one place where nature has bestowed her magnificence with complete generosity. Glacier National Park, gateway to the Pacific Northwest. Here is the very definition of the word magnificent. Icy cold streams dashing headlong to become tumbling waterfalls that roar and re-echo along widening canyons. Valleys and plateaus beautifying themselves with colorful blankets of wildflowers of endless variety. Mighty mountains, rugged and challenging, thrusting skyward, awe-inspiring in their silent grandeur. Glistening glaciers as old as the Ice Age, clinging to precipitous cliffs, all combining to weave an unforgettable spell over the fortunate visitor. Since Congress created Glacier National Park in 1910, increasing thousands come each year from early summer through mid-autumn to enjoy in full measure the countless wonders which nature offers in such abundance. And among the very first to extend the hand of welcome are the Blackfeet Indians. Living in teepees, wearing the colorful costumes of their forefathers, these are picturesque remnants of a tribe once famed as dauntless fighters. Gone now is much of their former greatness, but in their faces still reflect a measure of dignity and nobility of one of the mightiest and most interesting of American Indian tribes. Glacier Park Hotel, world-renowned as a rustic masterpiece, with dining room windows like huge framed paintings of majestic snow-capped mountains, is a starting point for many motor coach tours through the park. We climb aboard the famous bright-colored open-top buses, and we're on our way for an unobstructed view tour designed exactly for the lover of the out-of-doors and the searcher for real beauty. On our way again. After passing the St. Mary checking station, we're on the famous Going to the Sun Highway. Winding gracefully along colorful Upper St. Mary Lake, this highway, carved from the solid rock of precipitous mountain walls, has open to view scenery rarely surpassed for sheer beauty. At an altitude of just over 6,500 feet on the Continental Divide separating the watersheds of the Pacific Ocean and Hudson's Bay, the highest point reached by Sun Highway is Logan Pass. Separated only by the thickness of an imaginary borderline, Glacier National Park is joined on the north by Canada's Waterton Lakes National Park. But nature is not regulated by boundaries. There is vastness and magnitude here which the visitor finds difficult to absorb in true proportion. High above the lake is the famous Prince of Wales Hotel. And, of course, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in the traditional red tunic, worn only in court, in parades, and in areas where American tourists are numerous. Returning to Glacier Park again, to Swift Current Lake. This is the site of Many Glacier Hotel, the largest hostelry in the park. From here, the hiker, to whom Glacier Park is practically a mecca, can follow the foot and horseback trails to such popular objectives as Iceberg Lake. Usually frozen over solid into July, the lake actually is filled with miniature icebergs. And it is here that the legend of the fur-bearing trout was born. Of course, one of the real thrills accompanying any visit to Glacier Park is to take a pack trip back into the mountains for a close-up of some of the glaciers, to treat the eyes to scenery not to be seen from the park's highway. So let's cinch up the saddle and climb aboard. And we're on our way to a world high above timberline. Out of the corral, we're soon riding through a wonderland of trees and flowers on trails built and maintained by the National Park Service. This is indeed the essence of real outdoor pleasure. Along the way, we stop to rest our horses and for a bite of lunch. If there ever is a time when food is at its tastiest best, certainly this must be it. And while we're resting, you say you like to fish? The fighting fury of mountain trout offers the thrills of a fisherman's lifetime. Glacier Park's waters are kept well stocked with cutthroat, rainbow, eastern brook, grayling, and Dolly Varden trout. Be his choice the crystal clear reflecting lake or waters racing headlong for the open sea. Truly, this is the fisherman's pot of gold. Back in the saddle and on our way again, reaching for the higher altitude. Here we are just about to the top of the trail, which is as far as our horses will be able to take us. And right ahead, seemingly unconcerned by our presence, are Rocky Mountain goats, of which there are more in Glacier Park than in any other area on the North American continent. In order to get the best possible view of our glacier objective, we go on up just a little higher on foot, forming a human chain for ease in climbing over the icy snow, as well as for protection against falling. Whoops! Careful there. And there, just off in the distance, is Grinnell Glacier, one of the largest of the 60 glaciers remaining in the park. Due to climatic changes, these last accessible American glaciers gradually are disappearing. A glacier is defined as a mass of ice that forms from compacted snow in a region of perennial frost. Moving at a rate of only a few feet a year, depending on the thickness of the ice, the glacier breaks off rock fragments, grinding them into powder. Then, as the glacier melts, the runoff water becomes laden with milky silt, which is carried downstream to the lakes below, giving them coloring rarely matched on the artist's palette. Coming down a snowbank is sometimes a lot faster than going up, and a lot more fun. No matter where you may choose to wander over the face of the earth, no matter what sights you are desirous of seeing, one place that will always beckon to those in search of pristine beauty and high adventure is Glacier National Park. Here, as we give thought to those forces which have joined together to create such magnificence, we readily can appreciate how truly insignificant man is. More fully realizing that as the world progresses into succeeding periods of turmoil, of wars and destruction, creating forces which would destroy man himself, it is the processes of nature, ever steady, ever moving, that will stand above those forces. For nature alone remains indestructible.